Well, welcome to Constantly Connecting Humanity 360 LLC. And maybe a little note about what CCH 360 actually is. It's a partnership of people using martial arts techniques and martial arts experiences to explore healing modalities using personal tools and processes useful for self-care and healthy personal development. Who is the CC3H group, 360 group? Well, first would be Sufi Lester Holmes. He's a founder of CCH 360, also Tai Chi Connections and Tai Chi Wellness Society. He teaches out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And second is Pam Dye, founder of Tai Chi Forever, and she teaches out of, well, Freeport, New York. And myself, Dan Tracy, founder of Martial Arts in Motion LLC and Gator Tai Chi, teaching in season at Titusville, Florida. You can find us on Facebook at CCH 360, Consciously Connecting Humanity 360, and YouTube, CCH 360, where there's over 40 videos now. I didn't realize we had that many videos, Pam, so it's going along pretty well.
Well done, you guys. Well done.
Our guest today is Master Instructor Brandon Tracy. Master Tracy started his martial arts training, I think it was about 6 years old, weren't you?
I was 6, yes.
6, and has been training for over 39 years. He received his black belt from Master Randy Reed's American Freestyle Taekwondo system. He's founder of Infusion Mixed Martial Arts and also Superhero Martial Arts. He also studied Kempo Goju, Karate, Judo, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brandon is a 5th degree black belt in American Freestyle Taekwondo and a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Teles Basils, hope I said that right.
Bazo,
from the Rickson Gracie lineage. Master Tracy has developed a system using various martial arts techniques to mentor and connect with children of special needs. He calls this system Superhero Martial Arts. And Pam, we'll send it up to you for your questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think I'm just going to jump into what you're doing currently with this Superheroes program. What inspired you to focus on that program for kids?
Well, I had been working with, at that point in time, I had been working with individuals with special needs, various ages, in the general classes in the styles of martial arts and systems of martial arts I had already been teaching in. And many of those classes would have anywhere from 15 to 40 students in each one of the classes. So what I found was that for some individuals with special needs, that going into a group class would be the next logical step for them. Working on developing the understanding of social skills and how to use those. And for a number of the students that I had begun working with off hours, doing private lessons for, those students, I did not feel the best next step would be to go into a group class. There were other aspects of taking a class and how to take a class that they were focusing, that we should focus more on, so that they'd be comfortable getting into the group class or the neurotypical class. So I found a need for a different style of training as opposed to the mixed martial arts curriculum, which involved Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, as well as Taekwondo. So those were the primary styles that we would teach as a mixed martial arts school. And I had to think about what type of curriculum I could teach that would be meaningful to everyone, but I could break it down and present it in various ways. And it really came down to understanding, realizing that every single school that I had trained in, it always came down to some basic skills and life skills, such as focus, respect for yourself, and respect for other people, having confidence to try new things, to develop self-control and understanding of connecting ourselves our mind and our body, and that helps us develop an understanding of where we are in space. And there's many different things that really we develop as younger people, and we have many opportunities for that as neurotypical members of society. So I found that there was a need to have a safe space to develop those basic skills using martial arts. So to all my students, they're coming to learn martial arts. They want to be a superhero, right? They want to be able to do those things that they see on movies and then TV and on the cartoons and everything. Well, I can help. I have a wide range of curriculum that I've trained and I've taught. So what I do is I created a space, Superhero Martial Arts. It started out being primarily students with autism of various ages, and families would come around, would follow me from one school to the next because we had worked well together, and other families were recommended to refer to me. And so it started out with autism, with students with autism. And I was talking to someone from the county Department of Human Services who stopped out at Superhero Martial Arts to see what we do, this last week. And so I was explaining what we do, and what I was explaining how I came up with Superhero Martial Arts. And part of that was during the infusion, when I was working with infusion and running that business, I had enough students, enough families, about 6 to 8 of them, that I was working with off hours. And I asked them if they would help me understand what is I'm doing, because they're there to have their children work with me, but I really didn't understand what it was I was doing. And so I actually asked all 8 of the families if they would help me do that if we could put together a group class. And so we started going through group classes, and those were all students with autism. And that was a very big challenge, having 6 individual students that have autism. And that's when I realized that maybe for a good number of them, the group classes was not necessarily the right next step. And then when I I started up Superhero Martial Arts, closed down Infusion, and 1 week later opened up Superhero Martial Arts because I had already had a number of families that would continue working with me. And so in my business life, I found a need for it. I found a space that did not have resources for many students who would love to take advantage of something like martial arts. And really what they're looking for is superhero martial arts. I do not, because I filled up all my spots within 6 months. I was completely full. And I'm trying to stay focused on a small portion of what I do well, so that I can fill that niche and I can work as many hours as I am able to, and I can still benefit the community with the type of work I do, which has always been a theme of any of the businesses, any of the martial art academies I've started and worked with. So
can you give us an example of what a typical class would look like? I mean, do you do your basic, punching, kicking, sparring kind of thing, or is it really focused on other things?
It's a fine question. And that was a question that the county and many of the case managers, both for the adults who are on Irish programs, and for some of the students who have case managers, the youth students who have case managers, which majority of the ones I have do. And when I talk to them at first, they are more of the mindset of, oh, great, they're going to be going to do karate. And when I start explaining what it is that we actually do, then it makes a lot more sense why it's something that's seen as a therapy and something that's a growth, and that they want to help support, and they want to make sure that their clients get to those classes, and that the families are informed that these types of classes are available for their kids. And what it is that we actually focus on are those leadership and life skills. As I mentioned, to the students coming in, they just want to come and have a good time, learning to kick, punch, block, do all those things, and jump and do cartwheels and a variety of, whatever they are presented as far as information, they would like to soak it up. And so it's my job to choose based on the individual coming in and their special need and their special need, but also just mentally where they're at, physically what they're capable of doing at that point in time. And we, on the very first class, we always go through an introductory program, or an introductory class, and it's an opportunity for me to talk to the new student coming in and the families coming in, to ask them if they have any, what types of goals they have, things that they'd like to work on. We go through a little tour of the space, and for special needs students, that provides an opportunity for me to kind of interview them to see how well they respond verbally, mentally. And it also provides an opportunity for us to walk around and talk about the equipment that we're going to use, let them touch it, let them ask questions about it. And we talk about the ones we're going to use, and we talk about the equipment we will not use. That way we start to set the boundaries right at the very beginning. And they get a chance to touch things and explore things and get that out of the way. And a lot of times during classes, they might get distracted by those things because they've never been allowed to go check it out. So we take care of those things at the very beginning. And then when we get back or done with the little walking tour, then we go through a brief class. And I teach them I start introducing the basic stances, some of the basic terms we're going to use. And once again, that's an opportunity for me now to be a little more focused with my interviewing, to see how well they respond, how well they can use self-control and keep themselves still, or move their body as requested. And once we get done with that first class, I ask them if they have any questions, and they ask questions. And from that first class on, with those goals already set, and I see where they're physically capable, mentally capable of being, then the next couple classes are just kind of pushing buttons, mentally, physically, seeing what they're comfortable with, what areas of being uncomfortable they're confident enough to try new things in. And then I start setting up the curriculum. So a lot of times it's going to be blocking. We're going to start with defensive techniques, because not everyone is capable of having the self-control yet or the filtering process to decide when it's appropriate to use martial arts or not. And that is the case for anyone, I think, that practices martial arts, especially if they're super excited. They've always wanted to be able to use it at some point. So, I try to respect that thought, and we start working on defensive techniques, blocking, and then, like I said, we do work on punching, but I try to keep that for students who already have that filter, and we can start at that point, and we know where they're going to be respectful with the techniques that they're being taught. So we also work on we do our kicking, so basic front kicks. We do jump front kicks. It depends on what they're capable of doing. Some students are capable of doing spin kicks. They're capable of doing those things. But a lot of students, they're working on how to control their body, how to feel it. So we work on a basic front snap kick, for instance. And really what we're working on is teaching them how to walk up a stair, because that's their goal. But the mechanics of stepping up a step is a front snap kick chamber, where you pick your knee up and you point your knee at your target or just above it, and then you extend your foot out toward your target. So we actually what we're doing is actually helping the student learn to walk up and down steps. To them, they're learning to kick and punch. They're being a superhero. But what we're really working on is the mobility and understanding of the mechanics of how to move. We just use martial arts and whatever techniques they are interested in learning to teach those other concepts, the mental concepts and those physical techniques that they're going to use outside of the martial arts academy. So that's what a basic class looks like, the basic first class, and that's what sets up the following classes. And depending on what kind of progress they make, we just start introducing more complicated mental techniques and physical techniques. So we talk about all the social skills that they're actually working on applying as they're going through being asked to do things. And when they get frustrated with certain things, we coach them. We try to be good finders, try to make sure that we recognize and point out when they take that action, when they use confidence in themselves to try that new thing, even if they're going to get it wrong, just to try, and start developing that respect and that positive attitude toward education and learning and making mistakes and learning from those. So that's really what we're working on, are those background skills, all the life skills that you need to make it through. But like I said, to them, they're learning to kick, punch, block, jump, cartwheels, role, all those things.